On today's Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show, Bismarck travels to Iowa for the second time this season for a big matchup with the Barnstormers. And now, with just one regular season game to go, the Bucks are right in the thick of the playoff race. We take a deep dive into the standings. And later, it's another hurry-up offense as we get to know wide receiver Andre Williams. It's all coming up on this week's Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show, which starts right now. Welcome inside our Beck Studios, everybody. I'm David Sugarman, and this is the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show. In two matchups against the Iowa Barnstormers this season, Bucks fans had seen two wildly different matchups. The first one in Iowa back on May 29th was a nail-biting 49-42 Iowa win. Just 2 weeks later, the Bucks bounced back in a big-time way en route to their largest win of the season, a 31-point victory at home. All that led up to an important rubber match with playoff positioning potential on the line between the 5th-seeded Bucks and the 9th-seeded Barnstormers this past Saturday in Iowa. Let's take you to Des Moines, Wells Fargo Arena for the second time this season. Opening drive of the game for Iowa, quarterback Quan Neal. For wide receiver Dalen Person, 19-yard touchdown to cap off a 6-play, 30-yard drive. Barnstormers lead 7-zip. First Bucks drive, quarterback Kenyatta Allen back to pass under duress. And linebacker Tony Jones, the strip, the rip, and the score. 3 yards later, Barnstormers up 14-0 in a blink. Under 2 to go in the first quarter, Bucks looking for momentum. First and goal from the 6 on the move, trying to finish the drive. Start of a big day for the former Barnstormer wide receiver Raheem Harvey. 6-yard touchdown, leads down to 14-7 after one quarter. Early second, Iowa continues to pour it on. Running back Elad Kavalu spinning and winning his way into the end zone. 7-yard score. Barnstormers up 21-7. But the Bucks offense found a rhythm, and when you need a tough touchdown, you go to running back Justin Rankin. Bullies his way in from 3 yards out. It's 21-14. About 3 minutes to go in the second quarter now. Iowa gets the football back. Neal, wide receiver Carrington Thompson Sr. with the run. 12-yard score for him. And then a nice moment here. Thompson Sr. finds Junior in the front row. Says, hold on to this for me. I'll be coming back for it. 28-14, Iowa on top. 2:17 to go in the half. Allen for Harvey again over Tyrone Cromwell III for his second score. 28-21. Barnstormers did tack on a field goal just before the half to make it 31-21 going into the locker room. First drive of the third quarter, Bucks started with the football, looking for a better start than they did in the first quarter. They got it. Receiver Andre Williams with a 20-yard touchdown, his 6th score of the year. Kick is no good, but the Barnstormers lead is down to 4, 31-27. Under 3 to go in the third. Kavalu had one in the first half, and again, put it into turbo to finish the run. 21-yard score. He finished with 44 yards and 2 touchdowns. Barnstormers lead swells back up to 11. Under 6 to go in the fourth. Now, Bucks still down 2 possessions here. We've seen a lot of Allen's arm. How about a little of the legs? Hops on into the end zone. Bucks went for 2 and were unsuccessful. Lead is 38-33. 90 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Kicker Gabe Rui with a leg. 47 yards out, a big one to make it an 8-point game. Bucks need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie this one up. 39 seconds. Allen on the move. One more time for Harvey. A 12-yard bullet in the back of the end zone. Harvey's third score. A lot of reason to celebrate, but still work to do. A 2-point conversion away from tying. To Rankin, looks like he's bottled up. Somehow kept those legs churning. And let's take one more look here. Again, Rankin's got bodies on him at the 2-yard line or so, just kept fighting. Ground can't cause the fumble, reaches out. We're locked at 41. 19 seconds to go. Iowa with the answer. Thompson Sr. again, 16-yard touchdown. He finished with 92 all-purpose yards and 2 scores, 48-41. Flashback time. Let's go back to May 29th. Exactly a minute ago, Iowa's up 49-42. Bucks about to get the ball back. That is until a surprise onside kick from Nathan Criswell. Connor Hollenbeck recovers, and the Barnstormers were able to run out the clock. Let's bring it back to this Saturday. Bucks looking for one more chance to tie it up this time. It's Rui. Tough to tell if this was an intentional onside or not. Either way, it's a familiar sight. Iowa DB Jalen Moore recovers, and the deja vu ensues. Iowa comes away with a 48-41 victory. Bucks fall to 7-7. Let's take a look at a couple other scores from around the league. Massachusetts over Green Bay, 50-33. Frisco handles Spokane, 45-34. And one of the biggest blowouts of the season, Duke City, no problems with Northern Arizona, 71-11. And Arizona takes down Tucson, 55-28. After the close loss, the Bucks will have some extra time to lick their wounds with their 3rd bye week of the season after they were forced to drop this upcoming week's game against Sioux Falls after Louisville was terminated from the league and the scheduling gods had to make some tweaks. With all that being said, the standings are airtight right now. Let's take a look at what the playoff picture looks like. Top 8 teams in the league make the playoffs. As you can see, Bucks are number 5 right now. Top of the standings is Arizona at 10-2. And you can see Duke City, Sioux Falls, even Iowa now all right on the Bucks' heels. It is going to make for an interesting and chaotic last few weeks of the season. While the Bucks do have the week off, let's see what the rest of the league has going on and what games could affect the Bucks the most. Arizona and Spokane, the Bucks certainly rooting for a Spokane loss here. Then Sioux Falls and Iowa, this is a tough one for the Bucks. Both those teams right on the Bucks' heels and both have the head-to-head matchups against the Bucks. They're at 7-8 respectively right now in the standings. Moving on, Green Bay and Frisco. Green Bay 5-7, 9th in the standings. They're pretty desperate right now. They need to find a way to upset 9-2 Frisco on the road. Finally, Duke City, just one spot back of the Bucks as they travel to 4-8 Tucson. And whatever happens there, it's going to make for a really interesting regular season finale for the Bucks and the Gladiators. And last game, a game that frankly won't affect the Bucks a ton. Massachusetts at 9-3 near the top of the league, and Northern Arizona at 1-11 near the bottom of the standings. Lots to sort out. But for now, it's time for a quick break. When we come back, we speak with Bucs Special Teams Coordinator Chris Hemphill. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Bismarck Bucs Coaches Show.
Hey Bucs fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Bucs Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucs.
Everybody needs an off-season, but our announcers have a tough time slowing down.
Hey, do you mind if I practice a little bit? Right, I don't really think that.
Johnson holds, shoots, he scores! Incredible! For the second time today, Brent has jammed the printer.
Lowry's 3rd caramel roll of the day. That's a bold move.
And he drains one. Blind squirrel finds a nut. And back to normal.
Staying connected is more important than ever, and we're proud to have connected you when it mattered most. Whether it was working remotely at your new home office or providing cutting-edge security and connectivity solutions, or connecting you to your customers in new ways. More than ever, your local co-op is here for you. Choose local, choose Beck Connect.
Indoor football is back at the Event Center, and the Bismarck Bucks season is right around the corner. The team will be fueled and ready to compete on game days thanks to our 2021 food sponsors. Dine with any of our supporting partners and get a free Bucks ticket to any home game in the 2021 season. Great food and free football. Tickets are first come, first serve, so get yours now. Call 701-595-0771 for more ticket information. And go Bucks!
Welcome back to the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show, everybody. And with the bye week going on, a few guys decided to take a little bit of a break from Bismarck. That includes our head coach, Rod Miller. But we've got somebody, I'll argue, even a little bit better. Chris Hemphill, our defensive back and special teams coordinator. Coach, thanks for helping us out today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Coach, let's learn a little bit about you first. You had a 10-year indoor career. You played for Coach Miller a little bit. I see you even brought a little bit of hardware with you today. First, let's talk about this. Talk about the jewelry we got on today.
Okay. This is from my rookie year in Wichita. Played with the Wichita Wild. We lost one game that year, but, we had a bunch of good guys. Got us to the championship, won that game against the Salina team, Salina Bombers then. The second one, we went back-to-back. This year we beat Sioux City in the championship. Had a pretty good year that year, blew out a lot of teams. And this one's special right here because it's the one I got with Coach Miller. He's our defensive coordinator. He came to Wichita, and it's funny because the very first thing he said to me was, you're not a safety. And I've been playing safety my whole life, So we kind of bumped heads at first, but I got used to his defense and believed in his scheme and stuff and ended up with one of these.
I was going to say, you bumped heads, now you're on his staff. How did you make the transition from a long playing career to coaching?
Simple. I've always been a student of the game, even back to my days at University of Washington. I had my defensive coach, Phil Snow. He brought me into the office and said, look, you're talented as all get out, but you're not going to play unless you learn football, the X's and O's. So I spent a lot of time with him just learning the game, and the same thing I've done with the indoor game. Just became a student of the game. Learned the ins and outs, and was able to be a coach on the field, so this makes this transition easier.
Let's dive into this past week's game. Close loss. Got down 14-0 at the start. Ended up tying the ball game late at 41. What was the difference those first 5.5 minutes or so?
You know what? It's really just getting on the same page with everybody. These last couple of weeks, we started off slow, brought some new guys into the mix. We couldn't really get our chemistry right from the jump. But it's just some things we have to work on in practice and really starting out fast. We can't go into the playoffs being a second-half team. And I think, as you can see from the results this week, that's what came back to bite us.
A little bit of deja vu, unfortunately, on that final Iowa kickoff. Tough to tell from our perspective whether it was a squib that got a little lucky or an intentional onside. Regardless, was there something that the special teams unit could have done to have been a little bit more prepared at all?
It's actually crazy you say that because going back to the May 29th game, we were supposed to have our special teams up because in indoor football, you're playing against the clock as well. They just scored on a possession. And in indoor football, when you're up, a lot of coaches like to try to steal a possession because it's only 1 minute left and you still have timeouts and the field is so short. So with that in mind, I mentioned to my guys, hey, let's move all the way up just in case they try, something that they did last week. Me and Coach Miller were anticipating. And what happened was the kicker tried to squib it. It wasn't intentional onside. He tried to squib it and hit one of our guys since we were lined up so close. And it happened to hit, one of our players. Line drive is hard to catch, with any football. So it hit him. I think it bounced off his face mask, and it just happened to ricochet right into the hands of an Iowa player. And, deja vu.
Coach Miller talks about that 1% luck that didn't go your way this time.
Right. And that's exactly what it is. He always says it's that 99% skill and it's 1% luck. And just so happens this past week, the luck didn't fall in our favor.
Going into the bye week, then one game left, right in the thick of the playoff race. What was the message to the team coming into the bye week and down the stretch here?
Really, it's just all about refocusing up. We can't dwell on the loss, and I think a lot of times that's what you happen with teams and players that are kind of fitting certain pieces and different puzzle pieces in. Is that you kind of lose focus when you get a tough loss with a game that that should have went your way, and you've done all the things that you can to try to prevent that from happening. But that's the way it happens. So the message is we really just got to finish. We just got to go into our last week or last couple of weeks with preparation, knowing who we're facing, and just get the win and carry that momentum into the playoffs.
Let's go positive because there were plenty. Wide receiver Raheem Harvey was a big bright spot. 6 catches for 70 yards, 3 scores. Right. He won a United Bowl with Iowa in 2018. Between the skill and the experience, how much is the team leaning on him down the stretch here? Whenever
you have a dynamic player like him, you just got to have that leadership that he provides on the field. And I think if you watch the game, you saw him go out there and do what he's supposed to do. We were looking for him often and early. We knew he was going back to his old stomping ground, so he's going to have that added motivation, which he really doesn't need motivation. But we knew he was going to have that extra added motivation, so we wanted to give him the ball early and often. And as you can see, he came up big for us. So we're looking for the same production as we go into the playoffs.
Despite 5 different quarterbacks this season, Harvey and JT Stokes, who's been out the last couple of games, have been able to both remain in the top 10 in the league in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. What's allowed those two and the receiving core in general to stay so consistent despite all of the roster turnover?
Well, I think if you look back to our camp roster, those are some of the guys that are on the main camp roster. And, dealing with Coach Corey Ross, he really spends a lot of time with detail with those guys and showing them push stick and different types of techniques to get open. And his playbook is crazy if anybody got a chance to look at it. And these guys all flourish in his playbook, and I think that shows on the field when you see him out there balling.
Defensively, let's get into the DBs. That's really your bread and butter. First game in the lineup for Kendrick Harper, and he made a good impression. 4 tackles and a forced fumble. What makes you excited about the addition of Harper coming into the latter half of the year here?
Oh, it's crazy because I've been trying to get K-Hop here for the longest. He's been playing in Salina. He wanted to stay closer to home, for his job and stuff. But I finally talked him into coming out here and chasing this ring. And I played with K-Hop for years, so we know each other like the back of our hands, And so I knew he was going to come and bring that veteran leadership, that technique, that mentality that'll help us get over the hump and help us in crucial situations. I think he showed bits and pieces of that. I mean, he was only here for a couple of days, before he went out here, and I think he played very well to only be, here for a couple of days.
Another strong game for quarterback Kenyatta Allen. 5 total touchdowns, just the 1 turnover. He's got 11 passing touchdowns and no interceptions through 3 games. How impressed have you been with how quickly he's been able to grasp the offense?
Very impressed. It's tough whenever you're coming from, an outdoor system into never playing indoor football before. It's tough. The transition is hard for any position, all the way from the quarterback, to the kicker, the DBs. And I think with Ken, he's really embraced his challenge. He spent a lot of time with Coach Corey Ross and Coach Miller and just really studying the game and learning because he knows that we have to lean on him coming into these playoffs, especially with, Kelly Bryant leaving for Canada and Caleb hurting his shoulder. So it's really been a tough transition as a team, offensively, especially because you're learning to play with different guys. But I think he stepped up to the challenge, and he's done the best that he can to help lead us to victory.
Of course, you just touched on the reason Allen was brought in to begin with. Bryant gone to the CFL and Lewis nursing the shoulder injury. What, if anything, can you tell us about where Caleb is in the recovery process?
I spoke to Caleb the other day, and he's very optimistic that he'll be back soon. Said he's going to throw some, this week and really just see how his arm feels and, see if we can get him back in the lineup to help us win.
Hoping it will help you guys win going into the playoffs. Taking a look at the playoffs right now, you guys are sitting in 5th place, and of course this week you're just sort of sitting and watching other teams that can affect you, and there's not a lot you can do. How can you just keep the team focused on the day-to-day practice and the next game and not too glued into the standings?
We have a young team, and I think with any young organization, you have this thirst for success. We've had some success, and we've done a pretty good job about letting our players know that, this is not the end. We still have a few games to go. We have to remain focused, and that's always the theme when we start the week in practices. Let's focus up this week. It starts with Monday with film preparation and transition to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the special teams, all the offensive schemes, the defensive schemes, and really just fine-tuning the things that we already have to help us prepare for a successful week. And I think that's important going in, just to pay attention to the things that we can control. And we can only control what we do on the field, let the rest handle itself.
Coach, last thing for you. You touched on it earlier, trying to get through the season end on a strong note. With all that being said, what's the code word for the week?
Oh, the word for the week is finish. We have to finish. we've been doing that the past couple weeks. The problem is we haven't been starting as fast as we would like to, but I found that as long as you finish strong, you usually come out with a good result. So we want to finish. We want to carry the momentum that we've been building with the guys that we have here. We get some bits and pieces back. Like you said, JT comes back, and hopefully Caleb and the guys are coming off injury. And we just want to really finish this week and carry that momentum going into the playoffs and maybe go get one of these.
Finish is the code word for the week. Take that to social media. See if you can win you some Buck swag and prizes. Just a couple more chances to do it. We're going to take a short break. Coach Hemphill, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks
I
for
got to
having
get
me.
a fist bump with the plate.
Hey, there
That's
you go.
some heavy hardware. Hopefully the Bucks are going to get a little bit of that this year. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, it's time for another Hurry Up Offense.
Hey Bucks fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Buck Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucks!
Everybody needs an off season, but our announcers have a tough time slowing down.
And you might have had practice a little bit. Right, I don't really think that. Johnson holds, shoots, he scores! Incredible. For the second time today, Brent has jammed the printer.
Lowry's third caramel roll of the day. That's a bold move.
And he drains one. Blind squirrel finds a nut. And back to normal.
Staying connected is more important than ever, and we're proud to have connected you when it mattered most. Whether it was working remotely at your new home office or providing cutting-edge security and connectivity solutions, or connecting you to your customers in new ways. More than ever, your local co-op is here for you. Choose local, choose Beck Connect.
Indoor football is back at the Event Center, and the Bismarck Bucks season is right around the corner. The team will be fueled and ready to compete on game days thanks to our 2021 food sponsors. Dine with any of our supporting partners and get a free Bucks ticket to any home game in the 2021 season. Great food and free football. Tickets are first come, first serve, so get yours now. Call 701-595-0771 for more ticket information. And go Bucks!
Welcome back, everybody, to another Hurry Up Offense. This week, we're talking with wide receiver Andre Williams. Andre, we want to get to know you a little bit better. One of our newest Bucks. We're going to go end zone to end zone. See if we can learn a little bit more about you. That sound good?
Cool.
All right, first things first, your go-to pregame meal.
Go-to pregame meal. It would have to be like a smoothie or
So keep it light.
PB&J, yeah.
Just PB&J, a classic. I'm not a
classic.
jelly guy. I just do the PB.
Oh, you gotta like jelly.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh, vanilla.
Sprinkles
plain.
or anything, or just plain
Nah,
vanilla?
no sprinkles, plain vanilla.
Favorite television show?
Ooh, ESPN.
ESPN? Okay.
Yeah.
If they were making the movie about your life, what actor would they cast to play you?
Probably Flash.
Flash?
Yeah, I like Flash.
Okay, like the superhero.
That'll
Flash.
probably be the super, yeah.
Okay, I
superhero
like that.
Flash.
I like that. What would you do if you weren't playing football?
If I wasn't playing football, well, I'm a father, so I'll be a dad and work, probably construction.
Love that. Favorite football memory from any moment of your career?
Favorite football memory? Probably last week against the Pirates, seeing my daughters in the stands.
Love that. Favorite
Yeah.
part about playing in the IFL?
Shit, the Bucks gave me a great opportunity.
Love that. Another Hurry Up Offense with Andre Williams. Big thanks to Andre for helping us out this week. Had a great time getting to know him just a little bit better. Before we head out for the week, let's learn who is our winner for our Coach's Code Word segment for last week. It is one Jason Carlson. Jason, congratulations. Keep an eye on that inbox. Keep refreshing it. We're going to be getting in there and letting you know how to get your cool Buck swag prizes maybe a t-shirt, a jersey, who knows. You're going to be getting some Bucks swag, though, in the very near future. We only got a couple shows left here in the regular season, possibly some playoff shows as well. But with all that in mind, you're going to want to continue to compete. This is the code word for the week, finish. They're trying to finish the season strong, are the Bucks. A bye this week, regular season finale the week after. Rod Miller and today, defensive back and special teams coach Chris Hemphill are preaching for their team to finish. You can find that code word of the week on the Bucks. Put it on their Facebook, their Instagram, their Twitter, 6:30 every Wednesday until the season is over. We are going to have you there. Let's take a look at the Bucks' schedule to close out the regular season before we go here. There it is. A bye this week. You see the gap in between the 7th and the 21st because of the scheduling change, and then one last game at Duke City. That game could be a make or break for the Bucks. However, a lot of that is going to depend on what happens this week. We will break down all of the playoff scenarios next week for you to get you primed and ready for that regular season finale. That'll do it for this week's show. For our entire Beck News and Beck Sports crew, special thanks to defensive back and special teams coach Chris Hemphill for coming on and helping us out today as well. I'm David Sugarman saying so long and have a safe bye week, everybody.